So you managed to do 10 pull-ups and thinking how to progress from here. So you set muscle-ups to be the next goals. You see people do it in the gym effortlessly, but once you try it, you'll fail and thinking what's going wrong here. In this video, I'm going to cover for you how to do the muscle-ups. Stay tuned.
In with the queen, I'm the alpha, the omega, everything in between.
Ride with the mob, Allah, check you and me, and we get job.
What's going on guys, this is Xavier. So today I'll be teaching you how to do the muscle ups. Before training the muscle ups, we need to check some of the basic requirements for it. Because muscle ups is an intermediate skills, anything fall below it, you will find yourself constant struggles to train for these skills and you'll hardly find any improvement. Before that, I just want to break down muscle ups is made out of about 70% of your pull strength and 30% of your push strength. With that, the first requirement is doing more than 10 pull-ups. There's a difference between someone who is able to do more than 10 pull-ups then train for the muscle-ups with someone who is only able to do 5 pull-ups, because the one who is only able to do 5 is already struggle at the pull-ups itself. The next criteria is to be able to do more than 8 straight bar dips, because the second part of the movement is to push ourselves above the bar. You'll be surprised that someone may neglect this as they are able to pull high enough but they doesn't have the strength to actually push themselves upwards. And the last one will be able to do more than 30 push-ups. This will ensure you have enough pushing strength. Next, we will go into one of the most important part, which is the technique. I'll try to be as detailed as possible so you know what to do when you're training for the muscle-ups. First of all, we'll cover the grip. If you take a look properly, right, when people training for the muscle-ups, their knuckles is actually facing the sky. It's also called the overhand grip. It's totally different from the normal pull-ups grip, which is called the regular grips. I'll explain why to you that why you must use the overhand grip for your muscle-ups all the time. Okay, once again, I'm doing a regular pull-ups. If you take a look at my knuckles properly, you can see that it is facing the back instead of the muscle-ups grip, which is the overhand grip that we discussed earlier, which is the knuckles facing the sky. When we are doing the muscle-ups, right, you must keep in mind that we are actually doing a C shape, that we are going around the bar. Means to say we are mimicking a C shape ourselves to actually go over. What I mean is, let's say we start at the bottom of the C itself, right, which is the best spot that we create the momentum to pull down the bar, then we go over the bar. Okay, while we are using the overhand grip, right, you can see that after I complete the muscle ups, right, what do you notice on my knuckles? It's actually on top of the bar, which is facing the sky. Means to say that if let's say you are using just a regular grip, right, you're not able to transition your body over to the bar. Means that the moving trajectory, right, will actually block you from moving above the bar higher upwards. Okay, now we're going into even more technical parts. If let's say you attend the movement for some time, sometimes you will feel that you have more explosiveness when you pull yourself upwards, and sometimes you don't. So these 3 circles represent the situation. The white circle is actually the most optimal point for you to actually swing back and go above the bar to create this C-shaped pattern. Because at this point in time, this angle, right, you'll feel that your grip is actually at the strongest, your body being stretched the most and wanted to swing back naturally. Whereas this first red circle, right, means you actually swing too far out. So if you swing too far out, right, you become an unnatural pattern. So instead of swing to a C-shaped position, so you will actually tend to swing backwards instead. So it's very hard for you to go above the bar. And the last circle is actually you time it too slow. Means to say that you actually miss the most optimal point for you to swing around the bar, okay, to wrap around this bar. So what I mean is, if let's say you reach to this second circle, right, which I mean is too late, right, means that you need a lot more pulling strength to pull yourself upwards instead of relying on some momentum for your body to stretch forward and then swing back up. I hope you know what I mean. To demonstrate once again, right, I'll just put this white circle here untouched. So every rep, right, you will see that where my feet move and then when is the optimal point for me to pull up again. So if let's say you just start your attempt to train for this move, right, it's totally normal that you don't feel the momentum or feel the explosiveness to pull yourself up. So after some practice, right, you will naturally feel where is the momentum is or where is the correct spot for you to pull backwards and then create this C shape. Another most frequent asked question is, how wide should you grip the bar? My answer is just slightly more than shoulder width apart, just like doing the normal pull-ups. However, the difference is instead of just doing the normal pull-ups, which is your neck reaching above the bar, you should imagine yourself like doing a tricep pull down to pull as much as possible, which is like maybe to your belly button. Because if you imagine yourself pull explosively, right, then it's easier for you to go high above the bar. If you know all the techniques but still find troubles going up the bar, right, you need some of the best exercise to actually help you to pull higher. Because if let's say you want to do a muscle ups, right, minimum that you need to pull below your chest level, which is also called a high pull-ups. If let's say you are unable to do that, right, means you lack of explosiveness. So the first exercise I recommend is doing weighted pull-ups. So weighted pull-ups, try to get to at least 30% of your body weight. When you're able to do more than 30% of your body weight and you start to remove them, you'll feel that the normal pull-ups become an ease. Every of your pull movement will accelerate. One thing I would definitely highlight is wherever I train any pull-ups, weighted pull-ups or muscle-ups, right, I will use a chalk or liquid chalk. So this is highly recommended because the last thing you want for your training is any of your palm sweat restrains you for the movement you want to train. If I forgot my chalk, right, it's either I will borrow around in the gym or I will just go back home and take my chalk and then come back to train again. The second best exercise is banded muscle-ups. The best way to train the movement is doing the movement itself. There's no other way. If let's say you can't use the medium band to train, you can start using the thicker band first. Once you're able to achieve 5 reps, then you can start reducing the band itself to go to the lighter band. Then you can continue the cycle from there until you don't need any bands. However, if let's say you can't use the thicker band to do the banded muscle-ups, it's okay that you can use this band to do high pull-ups instead. So it's as efficient as doing the banded muscle-ups. But once you try to use the banded to do the high pull-ups and you're able to go above the bar, right, still use it to attempt banded muscle-ups. The objective is to try to mimic the movement as much as possible and in the meantime also gain strength for the move. The last exercise is the straight bar dips. So many people has overestimated themselves that they have enough pull strength, and many a times when they pull below their chest level and then the last part they have some struggles to get above the bar. This is because they have not enough pull strength. So if let's say you attempt these straight bar dips, make sure that your chest is touching on the bar and then push yourself explosively upwards. Do this for at least 10 reps. About 2 to 3 sets is enough. Sometimes you're wondering how long can you get to the muscle ups. The answer is really depends because some people they may start at the banded high pull-ups and some people may start at the banded muscle ups. And everyone's foundation is actually also different. I would say it will take about half a year to about 1.5 years to achieve this. The main focus is to actually track your progress over 1 to 2 weeks. Even every week, you should actually see some improvement in terms of like, did you actually pull higher? Did your form improve? Or did you do more reps? So if let's say none of this happen, that means either your training structure has some issue or your recovery didn't do on point because you're actually overtraining. Okay, that's all for this video. I hope it is helpful for your muscle up journey. If you have any other question, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. If you need any other further one-to-one personal training, you can also contact me. Okay, see you in the next video.